Hey, it's fully funded here. I retired in my 30s as a millionaire, and now I'm living off passive income. Let's talk. So, as we know, investing can take a lot of energy. Trying to figure out what exact places to invest, different strategies, and all of this. So, today I want to talk about what or where is the best places to put your energy into when you're trying to level up your wealth. Okay. So, look, I'm going to keep things simple. Generally speaking, there's dividend strategies and stuff like that, and there's growth strategies. So, I see a lot of people focusing on like individual dividend stocks and whatnot, and studying all these individual companies. And it's a lot of work, right? That's why I just put everything into an index like SCHD that has, 100 companies and it automatically does the screening for me. Because the whole purpose of dividend investing, in my opinion, is just to have passive income. And if I have to research and do 1,000 things, well, that doesn't really feel that passive to me. However, let's go to the other side. Now, when it comes to growth, like me trying to level up my money via investing or trading and whatever that's going to be, I strongly would happily try to put my energy and time and resources trying to figure out how to grow my money and invest, whether it's in individual stocks or ETFs or a trade that speaks to me. I'll much more happily do that. Why? Because again, yes, it makes sense that if I'm going to put all this time, energy, researching, and all this other stuff, I want to get much better outsized returns for my effort. So to keep things simple, I see a lot of guys making mistakes of people focusing on just, just focusing on, dividend stocks or just certain value strategies and stuff. Like, again, like I said, if I want to have cash flow, I'm going to invest in an ETF and call it a day, or a few and call it a day. However, when you want to hit out the park, get like, 100 times return or something crazy like that, well, that does require research, educated guessing, and of course, luck. I'm not going to deny that. But again, I'd rather do that. Now, I'm not talking about how much to invest in this conversation or what percentage of your portfolio should you use for risky plays. However, look, here's the truth. This is something I'll talk about in another video. A big part of how I became wealthy was, and when I say wealthy, a millionaire, was by taking risks, right? And there's various forms of risk, whether it's, effort risk of starting a company, capital risk. There's various forms of risk, and there's various ways you can take risks. It doesn't always have to be throw all your money in one thing, okay? It doesn't mean that. However, the art of taking risk, right? And that's really important. So people do it by luck. So people get lucky that they love their company that they're, working with, or they were able to find a business and it just did well one year, and they're able to make a lot of money doing that. But that's generally what it is, especially if you want to get rich within a short period of time. Because the truth is this, life is limited. We don't know how long we're going to live. And even though I don't mind watching a lot of the videos talk about, compounded interest, and if you invest for 40 years, look, those days are kind of over, right? Like, first of all, most jobs are not that reliable anymore to do the 40-year thing, right? So you always have to, if you're not rich the way you want to be, you always have to be taking some type of chances to get lucky, right? I'm a big fan of understanding luck, right? Even for me, I got lucky breaks at different points when I was building my wealth. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a genius, right? And the same thing for most people I know, there's timing, luck. So if you're not playing the game of luck, you will never get lucky, right? If you're doing it the safe way, you won't get lucky. So I'm just here to kind of give a generalized message to, people here in the investing community. And, I'm not saying to throw away your money necessarily, but you have to acknowledge if you want to get rich within a certain amount of time, no matter what your age is, even if I'm 50, if I want to get rich by 60, me trying to do an investment strategy designed for 50 years of compounded interest is not going to do the trick for me, right? So it just depends on what your goals are. But if you do have goals of, getting wealthy, retiring at whatever within a short time period from where you are now, you have to get lucky. That's just the truth. No matter how intelligent you are or not, there has to be some factor of luck. And to increase your chances of luck, you're going to have to go out there and, play the numbers. Again, that's just basically what it is. If you look at anyone who's wealthy, they had to do that. Now, there are some people who did it the long way too, at 65, whatever. But when I speak to these people, they usually regret it. They say, I'm old, I'm tired, and I wish I did it early.